In the endless darkness of space, the stars burned cold and distant, indifferent to the petty wars of those who dared travel among them. Among the stars, the fleet of the Clyron Empire glided like silver shadows. Their ships were vast, sleek and armed with weapons capable of destroying entire planets. Captain Thalor, supreme commander of the fleet, gazed out from his flagship at the small blue planet ahead. "Earth, Captain," came the cautious voice of Admiral Kyrex, who stood at attention beside the view panel. "The other councils warned us. They said Earth is protected and that its borders are not to be crossed. We should reconsider." Thalor chuckled, a sound that echoed coldly through the bridge. "Warnings? Warnings are for the weak, Admiral. Do you see anything in the scans that could possibly challenge us? Their weapons are primitive. Their technology is basic. We will take this planet easily." Kyrex's eyes narrowed. "You underestimate them, Captain." "The humans, they are humans," Thalor snapped. "Tiny, fragile, and weak. What could they possibly do to a fleet of 1,000 ships? Nothing. Absolutely nothing." Despite Kyrex's unease, the fleet continued its approach. From orbit, Earth looked peaceful, almost delicate. Blue oceans shimmered under white clouds. Vast green forests sprawled across continents. It seemed harmless, almost fragile. But Kyrex's instinct screamed otherwise. "Sir," he said quietly, "we have detected unusual energy signatures near the planet. They are not natural. Something is active." Thalor waved a dismissive hand. "Trivial. Let the humans play with their toys. They will soon learn what happens when they ignore the warnings." Deep below Earth's atmosphere, humans were watching. From a hidden command center beneath the Rockies, Lieutenant Sarah Chen and her team monitored the approaching alien fleet. Hundreds of sensors lit up screens, each reading carefully checked and confirmed. The fleet was large, advanced, and dangerous, but they had underestimated humans before, and humans had survived. Sarah's fingers flew across the controls, inputting commands into the Sentinel AI, the most advanced human defense system ever created. Sentinel had no face, no voice, just a presence that moved like a ghost across the solar system. "Unseen yet everywhere, Captain," said Lieutenant Jameson, her partner at the command console. "The alien scouts are entering our outer borders. They haven't noticed anything yet." Sarah's eyes did not leave the display. "Good, let them get close. Let them think they're in control. When they realize the mistake they made, it will be too late." Far above, the first wave of alien scouts drifted into Earth's space. Each ship was sleek and silent, scanning the planet's surface, confident and arrogant. None suspected the invisible eyes that followed them. Without warning, one scout flickered like a candle in the wind. And then it was gone. "Status?" Thalor demanded. "Scout? Missing, sir," reported an officer. "We have no readings." "What do you mean missing?" Thalor's voice was sharp, dangerous. "Explain." The officer hesitated. "It disappeared. No debris, no signals, nothing. It is as if it never existed." Thalor's hand tightened on the edge of the command chair. "Impossible. They are human. They cannot." Kyrex placed a hand on Thalor's arm. "Sir, I warned you. Humans are unpredictable. We should withdraw while we can." Thalor laughed, but it was short, brittle, and unconvincing. "We cannot retreat, not now. Our pride will not allow it. Send the rest of the fleet in. They will pay for our insult." Across the solar system, Earth's defenses began their work. Sentinel AI had calculated the precise movements of every ship in the alien fleet. Invisible drones, powered by advanced stealth technology, moved faster than the eye could follow. Within moments, several more scouts vanished. On the flagship bridge, the alien officers began to panic. Alarms rang. Red lights flashed. Communication systems failed. The fleet was beginning to fragment, disoriented by forces they could not see or understand. "Captain," a young officer shouted. "Our fleet, they're disappearing." Thalor slammed his fist against the console. "Impossible. This cannot happen." "It is happening," Kyrex said quietly, "and it is our fault for ignoring the warnings. We underestimated humans." Meanwhile, below, Lieutenant Sarah Chen and her team watched every move. It was almost too easy. The humans had learned from every conflict, every invasion attempt. The aliens' arrogance made their destruction almost elegant. "Initiate the next phase," Sarah commanded. "Target their communications and formation grids. Let them feel the full weight of their mistake." Invisible energy beams rippled across space, bending and folding around the alien fleet. Ships that tried to regroup were thrown off course. Others were trapped in artificial gravity wells, struggling to free themselves. Panic spread, but human eyes could not be seen. Human weapons could not be felt. Yet the results were undeniable. On the flagship bridge, Thalor's pride cracked. His empire's greatest fleet was falling apart without a single human ship in sight. Admiral Kyrex, what are they doing? He stammered. They are using strategy, sir. Intelligence, Kyrex replied. Something we have never faced before. We underestimated them. Humans are different. Different? Thalor bellowed. They are nothing. He watched as his fleet scattered in chaos, one ship disappearing after another. Orders to regroup went unanswered. Communications were blocked by a force he could not see, a presence he could not understand. The humans had turned the tables with stealth, speed, and intellect. Hours passed. More alien ships vanished. Those that remained struggled to maintain control, their sensors failing, their weapons useless. Captain, Kyrex said softly, we should retreat. If we continue, we risk total annihilation. Thalor shook his head, eyes burning with anger. No, we will fight. We will prove that humans are weak, that their borders mean nothing. But even as he spoke, more of his ships vanished. One by one, the fleet that had been the pride of the Clyron Empire disappeared into thin space. Not a single distress call escaped. Not a single weapon fired. Humans had not attacked, they had simply protected their home with intelligence and precision. Below, Lieutenant Sarah Chen smiled slightly. She had never seen humans so united in silent defense. The AI, the drones, the hidden satellites all worked together in perfect harmony. No blood was spilled. No cities were destroyed. Yet the message was clear. Earth's borders were not to be crossed. Hours later, the last remaining alien vessels attempted to flee. Thalor's flagship hovered near the edge of the solar system, alone. It had survived, but barely. The captain knew the truth now. Humans were not weak. They were more than they appeared. More cunning, more resilient, and far more dangerous than any alien had ever believed. Admiral Kyrex looked at the shattered fleet and said, Sir, the warnings were real. We ignored them, and we paid the price. Thalor did not answer. He stared at the blue planet below, silent, humiliated. The humans had won without firing a single visible shot. Their borders, invisible and impenetrable, had defended their home with genius. And as he drifted in the void, Thalor realized something he could not have imagined. Humans were not just a species to conquer. They were a force of nature. On Earth, Sarah Chen and her team began shutting down the Sentinel AI's defensive operations. The solar system returned to calm, peaceful orbit. The humans had protected their home without revealing their full power. Sir, Jameson said quietly, do you think they'll try again? Sarah shook her head. No, not soon. But the galaxy will learn. Earth is not to be underestimated. And far away in the cold emptiness of space, the Clyron Empire had learned a lesson they would never forget. Humans were not to be trifled with. One day the galaxy would know that when it came to defending their own, humanity was unstoppable. The stars above twinkled as if in silent applause. Earth had won, its borders had held, and the humans, quiet and brilliant, had reminded the universe why they were not to be ignored. The void of space was silent after the destruction of the Clyron fleet. One by one, alien ships had vanished, swallowed by forces they could not see or understand. Only the flagship of Captain Thalor remained, drifting near the outer edge of the solar system, battered, broken, and humiliated. Thalor sat in the command chair, staring at the blue planet below. Earth looked peaceful, almost innocent, but he knew the truth now. Its calm was a mask for a hidden power, one he had never imagined. The humans were not weak. They were brilliant. They were unstoppable. Admiral Kyrex stood nearby, silent. He had warned the captain, but no one had listened. Now he watched as the proudest fleet in the Clyron Empire lay in ruin, its sailors lost, its pride destroyed. Captain, Kyrex said finally, his voice low. We should retreat. We cannot fight what we do not understand. Humans are different, more intelligent than any species we have ever encountered. Thalor's eyes were filled with anger and disbelief. Retreat? He growled. We cannot show weakness. They must know. They must fear us. Kyrex shook his head. They already know. And fear is not what they want. Humans do not act out of fear. They act out of strategy, intelligence, and courage. Captain, I think we underestimated them completely. Thalor did not reply. He stared at Earth, feeling the weight of failure press down like gravity. Somewhere beneath the clouds, humans had planned, prepared, and executed a defense so perfect that it had shattered his fleet without a single direct attack. On Earth, Lieutenant Sarah Chen and her team watched the flagship drift from orbit. The Sentinel AI had guided every move, every defense, and now the humans allowed the last alien vessel to remain. It was a lesson, a final warning. Do you think he understands? Asked Lieutenant Jameson. Sarah shook her head. I don't know, maybe not. But he will not forget. Humans have defended their home. That is enough for now. Sarah leaned back in her chair, studying the holographic display. The Sentinel AI had collected every detail about the alien fleet, their weapons, their formations, their weaknesses. Humans had defended their planet, yes, but they had also learned from the encounter. The galaxy will know, Jameson said quietly. They cannot ignore Earth anymore. Sarah smiled faintly. They will try to forget. But one day, they will remember, and by then we will be ready. Back on the Clyron flagship, Thalor had regained some composure. He activated his communications console and attempted to contact the humans. This is Captain Thalor of the Clyron Empire, he said, his voice shaking slightly. We request dialogue. On Earth, the message appeared on a secure console. Sarah's team glanced at each other, then back at the screen. Patch him through, Sarah said. The holographic display flickered and the face of Captain Thalor appeared. He looked older, tired, beaten, but still proud. This is Captain Thalor, he repeated. We'd underestimated you, your defenses, your technology, your strategy. It is unlike anything we have ever seen. We wish to negotiate, to understand.
What have you done?
Sarah leaned forward. We protected our planet. That is all. You ignored the warnings, and now you have learned why they exist. Your fleet is gone, Captain. Not by attack, not by war, but by defense, by intelligence, and by planning. You cannot invade Earth. You cannot conquer humans. That is the truth you now face. Thalor's eyes widened. But at your ships, your weapons, I saw nothing. We felt nothing. How is this possible? Sarah's voice was calm. We do not rely on brute force. Humans think, we strategize, we act with precision. You could have destroyed a city or an entire continent and we would have adapted. We protect what we must, and now you know our borders are absolute. Respect them. The captain's hands clenched. He could not comprehend it. How could a species so small, so seemingly weak, defeat a fleet like his without firing a visible shot? You are exceptional, Thalor said finally, a mixture of awe and fear in his voice. We have underestimated humans for the last time. Your species is remarkable. Sarah's eyes narrowed. Do not mistake respect for weakness. We defend our home. That is all. Leave our solar system. Do not return. If you do, the results will be permanent. Thalor swallowed hard. We understand. And with that, the last Clyron ship turned away from Earth, disappearing into the depths of space. The solar system returned to calm, but humans knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy would take notice sooner or later. In the days that followed, humanity reviewed the encounter. Scientists, strategists, and leaders studied the data collected by Sentinel. Every alien weapon, every ship design, every strategy had been recorded, analyzed, and stored. Earth had not just survived, the humans had learned. Lieutenant Sarah Chen stood on a hill overlooking the Pacific Ocean, watching the sun rise. The water sparkled with light, reflecting the calm of a world that had just faced the greatest danger it had ever known. Jameson joined her. Do you think they will come back? He asked. Sarah shook her head. Not soon. They will think twice now. Humans are not easy to defeat. We defend our home with intelligence, with courage, and with unity. The galaxy will have to respect us whether it wants to or not. Jameson smiled faintly. We made history. And quietly, too. No one even knew we fought. No one outside our planet, I mean. That is how humans work, Sarah said. We do not need fame to protect what is ours. The stars will learn about us soon enough. Far beyond the solar system, other alien races observed in silence. They had seen the destruction of the Clyron fleet. They had seen the humans' defense strategies. Whispers of fear and respect spread among their ranks. One thing was clear. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage. They were no longer a minor species to be ignored or exploited. They were a force of intelligence, courage, and unpredictability, Captain Thaler reported to his council, humbled, fearful, and in awe. The humans, they are beyond anything we imagined. We thought they were weak. We thought we could conquer them. We were wrong. Entire fleets are gone, vanished without a fight. Their defenses, their minds, are our undoing. The council murmured among themselves. A new respect, tinged with fear, began to take root. Humans were no longer just a distant species. They were legends in the making. Back on Earth, humanity quietly returned to normal life. People walked through cities, children played in parks, and life went on as usual. The world did not know what had happened beyond the stars, but those who had fought remembered, and the galaxy would remember too. Lieutenant Sarah Chen returned to the command center, reviewing Sentinel AI's logs. She knew humans had only revealed part of their power. If the galaxy ever truly threatened Earth, they would be ready. "We did it," Jameson said quietly. "Earth is safe." "For now," Sarah nodded. "Yes. And the galaxy will know that humans are not to be trifled with. One day the universe will tell stories about today, about how humans defended their home without firing a visible shot, about how a species underestimated and paid the price. And high above, where only the stars could see, Earth's borders shimmered with invisible strength. The humans had fought not with arrogance or aggression, but with intelligence, courage, and unity. They had sent a message to the galaxy. Underestimate us and you will vanish without a trace. The stars above twinkled as if in silent applause. Humanity had won and the universe would never forget.